21 minutes before the hour, my friend Monica Mann joins us this morning. And Monica, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And you got a brand new direction going with your ministry show. Tell us about it.
I do. I'm excited to be coming back. Actually, this is the Lord's doing.
You really never left, did you?
No, never really left. I just thought I would come up with my own little plan of moving forward. However, God has said no. This is a needful platform where people were being encouraged and inspired. And that was the whole, that was the whole thing of God putting me here, is to encourage, inspire, and to give hope.
Kind of recap how we got started with this.
That was crazy because back in 1992, I came and did my first TV appearance and shared my testimony with Greg Funderburg, who you had interning with you. And so I never imagined at that time that God would have this for me to do. But I can see where my testimony, as awful as it is, has been such an encouragement to people and has inspired people and gave them hope. You never know who is listening, who is watching. And what I found out is that sometimes people will never comment, they'll never engage or interact, but then they'll come up to me at Walmart and hug me. And just saying thank you. And so, Jimmy Dale, the whole thing about this platform is the ministry of reconciliation, of course, and relatability. We need this platform and we need this show because right now, people, having the ability and the effect of relatability, being able to relate to where people are, is important right now. And so I know that God makes all things beautiful in His time. Ecclesiastes 3 talks about that, a time and a season for all things. But verse 11 says this, that in God's time, He makes all things beautiful. We read up in there about a time to kill and a time to, hug and a time to refrain from hugging. All of these things that he talks about, there's a time and a season for. But in verse 11, he assures us that God himself is going to make all things beautiful in his time. And so, when I first started in July of last year, I lost my home in August.
There have been a lot of seasons in your life,
There's been a lot of seasons in my life, but God makes all things beautiful in his time. He just needs me to be available to him and to get the message out to who he's called me to.
How did you come up with the title for the program?
Well, initially, Real Talk with Regular People is just what it is. I know how to be scripted. I know how to be, I can turn on my bougie at any time. My daughter actually made a post about that, about having her customer service voice. She said, I might be a little hood, but my customer service voice came from Harvard. So I thought that was real cute because she did get that for me.
Yeah.
But Real Talk with Regular People humbles everybody. It should. Because regardless to, how high God takes us, at the end of the day, we need to be reminded that God used regular people all throughout the Bible and did amazing things. And so Real Talk deals with life issues, what we have going on.
That everybody goes through.
Yes. And so sometimes, we need real talk. And we need to understand that even though God have chosen them to do amazing things, they're still regular people that go through things or have gone through things. And so the reset is what I needed to do and what I feel like the world needs, especially now. We are bouncing back. God is restoring us from the pandemic. And you know, there's a time in all of our life where we might need to press that reset button and just, hey, let's do it again, because God is, even in that, He told, go back down to the potter's house in Jeremiah and get back on the wheel.
We don't like on that wheel.
We don't like the wheel. We don't like that. But you know, I'm just grateful that God saw fit.
Yeah.
I have to shout out Miss Linda and Sister Val, who reached out to Minister Val and was like, where is Sister Monica? I was waiting on her show. What is going on? And so I wanted to shout. I told them I was going to shout them out for sure.
There you go.
This morning. But the thing is, Jimmy Dale, is that God has called me to a place of, you know, effective ministry and the power of relatability. Just being able to relate to people and people being able to relate to you, and then we can go in the Word of God, and all of us are related.
You know, Monica, a lot of times people don't need my advice. They need a listening ear.
Yes, absolutely. And it helps when the person that's listening can identify with what's being shared. Yeah. You know, it's something when you have these groups, and they're self-help groups. But the reason that those groups are effective a lot of times is because of the relatability in the room. And even the one who's coordinating the meeting has been where everyone in that group is at that present time.
Yeah. Hey, October the 16th,
Yes.
9 a.m. on Sunday morning, statewide television,
Yes.
Real Talk with Regular People.
Yes. We're back.
I want you to give a little snippet, and we don't have a whole lot of time. Give me a little snippet, the viewers this morning across the state, of where God brought you from originally.
Yes. Drugs and alcohol. A place, a sunken place. And January 23rd.
Dark time, wasn't it?
Dark time. And it was a path that I chose because I came up in a very religious family house, and then I got to a place where I wanted to do my own thing. So I got strung out on drugs. I initially started trafficking drugs, and then I started to use drugs, and the alcohol was always there. And so January 23rd, which is what I shared on your show for the first time in 2002, is the miracle of why and how I'm still here.
Your grandmama,
Yeah.
she wouldn't let you go, would she?
Not even not even with her gone on to glory, she's still the mantle. I receive it. I received the mantle.
Yeah.
I ran from it a lot because anytime anyone would say to me, "You have a mantle, Pastor," I was like, "No, I'm good. I just want to evangelize. I like the streets," but you know, God has a perfect plan for all of our lives. And no matter how crazy we go and how far out we go, He'll bring us back when it's been put in you. Bible says, train up a child. I was trained up in the way that I should go. But I departed, and here I am back.
Yeah. Now, how important is a church covering for you?
It's absolutely important. Everybody needs that. And the thing about a church covering is that you need that to cover you as you go. Being an evangelist, evangelists move. They move. And their calling, my calling, I'm just going to say the purpose that He sent me to. I started out at Jesus Saved Deliverance Temple 17 and a half years with Bishop and Lady Holly Quest. Thank God for them and all of the teaching. And now He's transitioned me to Power Pentecost, PFC, Incorporated, with Apostle Marshall Thomas and Lady Patricia Thomas. And there I've learned a plethora of information and things. But even in having a covering, you need that, but understand that God is still initially our covering. His grace is our covering. His mercy is our
Thank God for
covering.
that.
Because sometimes the church might not receive you.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? What about when you go and you're rejected? And, you know, when you talk about a covering. And so, even so, we still need to be mindful that grace and mercy covers us each and every day. He reigns on the just as well as the unjust. He wakes up that low down person just like he wakes up the saints and the Christians. And so God has no respect of person. And I can appreciate that much about my relationship with God, is that he saw fit.
So quickly, you were on this station last year.
Yeah, July the 5th.
And very successful with it. And you felt like you need to go another direction.
Yeah.
But God.
But God. And actually, Jimmy Dale, if I could just be honest, because, you know, I'm real talk. We're regular people. The support, I felt like just wasn't there. And I said, Lord, what is this? I don't want to have to struggle to do ministry. And I'm not one of those that give a word and then I'm gonna pin a cash app. Now, there's nothing wrong with sowing seeds, and because it's needful for ministry, we need that. So I'm not one of those evangelists that, you know, I'm not gonna give you a word unless you give something. But support is necessary. And so one of the things that I felt like is that, you know, the people, I need support, God. And he said, but what about if heaven backing you? Is that not enough? Is that not enough? And so, Jimmy Dale, I can sit here today and say that I'm all the way out of the way. I'm out of God's way. Because truly heaven is backing me.
Wow. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Premiering October the 16th.
Yes.
Real Talk with the regular people.
Yes.
Monica Mann, Evangelist Monica Mann hosting the show. And I'm sure you'll be having guests like you've had before.
I will. Actually, I'm excited to say I'll have a co-host too sometime.
All right.
Fred Crum, who is actually out there right now trying to get supporters and everything, sponsors for the show. But Fred will be on with me sometimes where he and I'll just talk about different things in the community and, you know, things that we can relate to, things that the people can relate to. So, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back.
All right. We got more Daybreak just ahead on this Wednesday morning.